everyone to the LEC studio. Oof! You know, those bears, they're working out. They're going from the one studio to the other studio. Great, staying in shape. Well, next
Unlike
game,
us.
though, as you said. Yeah. Now, speak for yourself. I've been going to the private trainer. This is off topic. Anyway, SK Gaming and Fnatic are tied in 4th place. They're fighting to secure a spot in the upper bracket, of course, looking to lock a good spot in the playoffs. And this is not only a matchup between two of our best teams, but also two of the most aggressive bot lanes in the league. I mean, I am so excited to see these guys face off in the league, on the Rift.
Yeah, today, in this game, in any of these things that work. Because honestly, they're super aggressive, and I think it speaks volumes to like how strong our supports and our bot lanes are here in Europe. And you look at, for the last few years, like the best supports have been Mickey and Hylissang, and it's all about this huge early aggression inside the lane. I think Treatz has really modeled his own playstyle off of that as well. One of the hallmarks is like these level 2, 3, 4 all-ins that are always going to burn a flash or a summoner spell just to make the bot lane that much more volatile to open up to further 2v2s or even jungle ganks.
Yeah, and I think the state of bot lane right now is very healthy and very fun to watch as well, because there are so many aggressive all-in supports that you can pair with AD carries with enough burst to tower dive 2v2 as we see here, you know, and like just constantly look for these fights. And we're definitely having more kills as well between bot laners 2v2 than I've probably ever seen before, and I consider that a good thing. Bless you.
Thank you.
I also think there's a big factor into why these bot lanes can get so explosive too, is the way that they set up their lane state, right, and control their minion waves too. Like Hylissang, for example, is the guy that when, you know, you could take a reset with your AD carry, he sticks around so he can freeze the wave in front of the tower.
He loves to do it.
And it does a lot of good things. A, it means your AD carry doesn't miss minions. That's great. We like that. But it also means that now the enemy bot lane, when they come back to lane, they have to go past the halfway point in the lane, and that makes them so much more vulnerable to being chased down the lane.
And now you said before how, you know, Mickey and Hilly, they've been the two best supports for a while now. They have somewhat similar playstyle. You know, very aggressive, always wants to be at the front, always want to go for all-ins. I feel like a lot of European supports, also just from solo queue, are picking up this style. And when you watch high-level solo queue now, like, your support can never just look away for one moment because you're constantly getting mechanically tested. And I think someone like Treatz, who came over after playing a few years in NA, like instantly picked up that style as well and been playing more aggressive than I expected. But it's been a huge part of why SK are succeeding. When their bot lane gets ahead, ideally with something like Kai'Sa that makes it even easier for Treatz to play this very aggressive all-in style, SK have a way to play the early game. But it has to be through bot lane because they've not found the same success playing through mid or top early.
Yeah.
Ideally, they have a scaling top laner, and then they can focus on the bot side.
Yeah, it gives you a plan to work for, right? And if you have that advantage, then you can open up the rest of the map and you can roam somewhere else as the support. So it's going to be particularly interesting seeing two supports that have the same approach to the game versus each other.
I mean, I just love watching both Hylissang and Treatz when it comes to the team fights as well, because Hylissang, if you remember back to like last year and the year before, his recon flanks, or he would be in the fog war, he'd sit in enemy territory for like 45 seconds, waiting for that perfect moment that he knew was going to arrive. And then Treatz this year as well, I think his Rell in particular has been the standout pick for him. His Jarvan too, the couple of games that he's played at one as well. These are two of our best team fighting supports in the league as well. And
I also just want to give a quick shout out to the AD carries next to these two supports who obviously are doing super well. Like, I think the synergy we've seen from both the bot lanes have been very impressive. You know, Jezu comes in as a rookie AD carry, plays with Treatz for the first time, finds this instant success, and then on the other side, Upset, my boy obviously coming over, always wanted a super aggressive, strong laning support next to him. He's playing with it right now, and I think he's popping off.
11 2v2 kills. 11.
Oh, okay. I was
Only 11.
Well,
come on, not even one per game.
Kills versus 2 on the side of SK. They're going to have to make up for that. Our eyes are on the bot lane this game as SK and Fnatic fight for an edge in the battle for the top 4.
Well, welcome to the caster desk for game 3 of the day with our very furry audience in full force. That Schalke player is asleep, which I think is unfair. I think this game's going to be very exciting.
I think so too.
I'm Drakos. This is Caedrel.
And we're back for another one.
Going to do it up for you. It's going to be an exciting. There's only 3 spots left in playoffs. Of course, for Fnatic and SK, they're sitting pretty comfortably in the standings right now, but we're going to find out who can pull ahead. We're now at the point of the season where we start to talk more and more about seeding, that all-important rising out of that 5th, 6th position so you're not in the instant elimination bracket is key for both of these teams.
Yeah, no one expected SK to be this high up in the standings at the start of the split. Imagine you come in with all these new blood talents into the LEC Spring Split, then you finish in the top 4 and take out Fnatic. That would be nutty.
That would be really insane.
But it all comes down to this game.
It does. Oh, neck and neck, a battle between SK Gaming and Fnatic. Let's get right into it.
Another one.
Ooh, I like it. All right. Fnatic versus SK, starting to think of picks and bans. Already the Kai'Sa banned away. It has been a specialty for Jezu and Treatz on the bottom side. Paired with a wide variety of champions, but they're not going to get that opportunity this time around.
Yeah, and I think Fnatic, like they said in the Analysts, is one of the most aggressive bot lanes. I think they're the most in 2v2 kills, but Jezu and Treatz have also been really playing aggressive in this bot side. I mean, Jezu's most played is Alistar. That's why Fnatic are banning away, and Alistar is a lane-winning champion. You know, it's not there to scale, it's not there to farm, it's there to win lane. So both these bot lanes definitely looking to win lane. I'm interested to see how the bot lane matchup pans out, especially with Senna down, Thresh, Aphelios taken out, Kalista's taking out. You're looking at things like the Rell, the Kai'Sa, and perhaps things like the Zyra can.
And I love that they banned the Thresh, because Thresh is one of those champions that, yes, he can be this aggressive engage source with hooks landing with flays, but more often than not, we see him be the Lantern bot, the guy standing back to offer you that safety. And with him gone, not a lot of safety options on the bottom side.
Yeah, most definitely, especially when it comes down to Rell being open. I wouldn't be surprised to see SK banning that away from Hylissang. But the thing is, the interesting thing about SK is Jezu doesn't play meta AD carries. We don't see him too much on things like the Senna or the Kai'Sa or the Aphelios. His top 3 most played are Kalista, Jhin, MF. So he's playing lots of off-meta AD carries. He's also got the Vayne. So I think when the meta AD carries are banned out, Jezu's in his comfort zone.
Absolutely is, but you can see SK debating. Is it the Rell that they want to take away? Are they willing to try to do the Rell Alistar matchup that we see so frequently? But Fnatic might not even prioritize that. It could be the Kai'Sa lock-in. Now this champion has seen some nerfs in recent weeks, mostly to the Q damage overall. But that said, Bwipo always hovers this champion anyway, so hard to be sure what's going to come through.
Hard to be sure. You're looking at things like the Kai'Sa, the Rell, the TF. These are the strongest champions like we've seen, and there's the first pick TF. So do SK Gaming want to pick up the Rell? Now Treatz on Rell has been very impressive. His team fights have been very, very strong, and there's AD carries open to pair with, so I wouldn't be surprised them pick up the Rell, and then Hylissang probably trade off the Alistar, which is one of his most comfortable engaged supports. But this TF has been showing up in the LEC all throughout the whole split, even from the week 1 when Rogue was running. And I think this champ is so strong because you never really lose lane. Yes, you can go down 10 CS or so. Yes, you might lose a plating, but if you can be proactive on the map, then you can definitely start snowballing your laners. But Tristana, one of the biggest answers we've seen into TF. Now, you could argue this could be a flex to bot side, but I'm expecting it to go mid because Tristana punishes the TF for every time he roams. You take Demolish, you eat the tower, you get plates, and you push in waves and you win the lane. So, very good counter pick into the TF already. Yeah,
you love to see it. Guaranteed gold income anytime TF leaves. And TF, of course, still taking a risk when he roams. It's not always a guaranteed play just because he does have that semi-global. Now, also paired with the Graves, though, means we have a so far very heavy AD composition from the side of SK Gaming.
Yeah, definitely. Heavy AD already, but I think the key thing to note here is I think TynX is picking away Graves from Fnatic because TF Graves is a very strong mid-jungle combo. He wants to stop Selfmade getting the Graves Alistar on 2-3. Yes, it hurts your comp because you're going to be full AP, but if Selfmade was to pick something like the Olaf, then I think Graves has a good matchup into that, so it makes sense for SK to take this Graves away. It's more of a denial pick rather than a power pick for themselves, so they definitely need a lot of AP in the top side now if they're going to match this, but that left the Rell open, and it's left the Kai'Sa open, which Upset's played 6 games of already, so the Fnatic bot lane sitting dandy with those champions.
Yeah, and SK Gaming, yes, they've got a solid mid lane matchup. Yes, they've picked the Graves away, but they've given over so much power and comfort into the hands of the Fnatic lineup. I feel like they're going to be digging themselves out of a hole here. Seraphine may be a good start to that, but it's going to be so hard to play this game up against so many of Fnatic's comfort picks.
Yeah, you have to question SK's draft here because they have to pick the Alistar into Rell, because I think if you pick a range support, you're just asking to lose the lane in a sense because the enemy team has TF, they have Rell, they have Kai'Sa, they have way too much engage already to actually manage to pull off a range support. Now, you've taken away the Graves to deny the mid-jungle synergy from Fnatic, but you've lost Kai'Sa Rell for it. So you've given Fnatic all these comfortable picks, like you said, just to deny the Graves away. Yes, they've got the Alistar into Rell, but SK need to find some ability power in this comp, and I would not be surprised to see this Tristana perhaps going to bot side to manage the draft here.
Yeah, balance things out a little bit. Now, Nidalee going to be banned away, limiting any more of the CC setup options. It would be double AP, but a gold card into a spear means whatever resistances you do decide to build probably wouldn't have mattered anyway, at least in the early game. See what else they want to focus on, as the Seraphine is going to get banned here. Respect to the pick. Of course, Nisqy has been very successful on it so far, knows exactly how powerful it can be if it's given time to scale up.
Yeah. SK banning away the junglers, Fnatic banning away the supportive mid laners like the Seraphine, so they perhaps think that this Tristana could be going bot as well. It would make the most sense to balance out the comp, because if you're playing Tristana Graves into TF, Seeker's Arm Guard, Armor Runes, so much efficiency into that mid jungle. So have to see how SK respond. They want to just go for something like the Azir or the Orianna into mid, or even something like the Victor that we've seen out of blue to give you more team fight, because this bot matchup is probably manageable.
It's a big debate.
Yeah.
And of course, earlier in the draft, Jenax was going through some cheeky hovers, both the Vladimir and the Riven. Remember last time these two teams played, it was Bwipo putting on a Riven clinic, absolutely demolishing Jenax in the 1v1, and that memory still has to be hot on Jenax's mind. So as much as the bot lane looks to be very much set up for Fnatic, we will still keep our eyes on that top lane matchup, because last time it was absolute disaster there for SK Gaming.
Yeah, you can see how the pivots worked in SK's draft. Pick Tristana into TF. Well, we've taken away the Graves from the TF. Let's flex Tristana bot, pick an Azir, so our mid-jungle synergy is not really off, because TF against Tristana Graves should be fine. Played Steel Caps, Armor Runes, but they gone for the Ryze, which is one of Blue's champs. I believe they played it. I can't remember if it was yesterday or the last week, but he was really popping off on that champ, I think. So I really like that pickup, especially when you're playing this mid-jungle synergy of the Ryze and the Graves and the Alistar. So much skirmish in the early game. I really like that. So I like this pivot from SK. Let's see how Fnatic responds with the blind pick top.
Really have to respect it, and I also like the fact that you've got some solid CC set up for the Ryze Graves combo if you can land the empowered root coming in from the Ryze on that W. Might be a little bit more difficult, but as you said, a good pivot here. And now the option going to be the Taliah coming in for Selfmade, a champion that we haven't seen in a long time now. If you were watching her at the start of the season, she was incredibly powerful. She's gone through a ton of small changes. You know, a little bit of reduced minion damage, and then it was added back, and then the movement speed was reduced and adjusted. So a lot of changes since you've last seen it. But one thing that has remained true is that the setup with this champion, when she gets a free W, whether that's from an empowered Renekton snare or stun, or a TF gold card, is devastating.
Wow. Fnatic's comp is scary. So much lockup, so much CC, so much damage, and a lot of engage. So they can play 1-3-1, they can play 1-4. They have a global in TF and Taliah, so double global mid-jungle. And I'm not surprised to see SK pick up a tank top here, because bot lane is volatile, and having a volatile top matchup as well when the enemy team has double global is quite scary. So the Ryze into TF makes a lot of sense. Winning lane, can match him on side really easily, wins the side lane, can match the mid roams. But Fnatic's draft time, it's really scary. The only thing is they have to be proactive. They have to get the Renekton ahead. They have to get the Kai'Sa out of lane and start snowballing the game. Otherwise, SK's comp will start to win on the side lane and will start to win the 1-4.
And proactivity has never been a problem for this Fnatic lineup. That said, success with that proactivity has been a bit hit or miss that season. So if Fnatic pull the trigger at the wrong time, if they fish for the wrong play, and SK Gaming can find a lead where they normally shouldn't have, this game could get very difficult for Fnatic very quickly. That said, Caedrel, you already mentioned it, they have all the tools that they need to be successful in this early game.
Yeah, you can see the amount of synergy coming out of Fnatic's comp. They didn't need an AD jungler because they went for the Renekton Taliah, which is so powerful, especially with things like Nidalee. And you know, Nidalee TF's also really strong, but because Nidalee's banned out, the stubble stun from your solo laners with the Taliah W is really, really scary. So SK have to be careful in this early game. I'm expecting Fnatic to be explosive here.
All eyes on the early game in our third match of the day, Fnatic versus SK Gaming. Oh boy. Caedrel, it's been a while since we've seen a Taliah. I would normally ask you about the jungle pathing, but we might have some murder here at level 1 as Hylissang is going for a sneaky little invade.
Yeah, interesting thing to know, Jezu has exhaust, so he's playing all in on these laning phase. Doesn't have the heal, but he's going to spot out Hylissang, so he was probably expecting some kind of jump over the wall there from the side of Fnatic. Good ward from Treatz to spot them out. I wouldn't be surprised to see him base and pick up a sweeper, because it doesn't make sense to hold on to that ward that's already been used. So SK will trade some information in the top side.
Bwipo backing off there, starting with Cole the Meek, but TynX walking up means he can continue to extend the trade as long as Sion wants to continue walking to melee range, but a very positive trade for Jenax overall, able to get the grass proc out where Bwipo couldn't even finish stacking the Conqueror.
Yeah, and he wins the trade, right? Bwipo could life steal a little bit on this blue buff, but that does help Jenax in the lane phase. So ward over into the river there. Smart from Selfmade. What he's expecting is he could expect TynX to do red, E over the wall of the Baron Pit and go towards his Gromp and try to force Selfmade's flash. A very common jungle pathing on things like Graves, Lee Sin, Jarvan, things with jumps. You can jump over the river across the wall and cheese the enemy jungler by trying to steal away his blue or forcing his flash on the Gromp.
For now, though, it is just going to be both paths spotted out as Graves is going to start to work his way towards the Raptors and should be picked up by that blue ward placed by Fnatic. That said, Selfmade's entirely in vision at this point, has ducked around the corner away from the Gromp, but they will still know his location, know exact pathing. And I think, to the surprise of nobody, there might be some intention placed on the bot side. Both junglers starting top side are set up to go down bot lane level 3 if necessary for what could be a very explosive matchup.
Yeah, definitely. Melee support into melee support, especially against with something like Tristana Kai'Sa in the lane. There's a lot of explosiveness there. The only real AD that could top that aggressiveness is Alistar, but Fnatic is a very aggressive bot lane as players in general, so I wouldn't be surprised to see so much engages coming in down here. And the thing is, we have to wonder, if Selfmade did path towards the top side, what is he actually getting for his team? Yes, he could shut down Jenax and make him fall behind, but he's a Sion. He's going to be a tank. No matter what you do to him, he's going to build Ruby Crystals. And it's much better to play towards your carries, your win conditions, rather than these stable lanes, which I think the Sion is just a neutralizer, rather than a volatile pick.
Now, at this point, Bwipo getting some good damage down, making use of that level advantage TynX is going to be clearing out. We'll see how much battle there is over these early crabs, both junglers opting for the early phase rush, so it's going to be pretty hard to stick to either target.
Yeah, and now it'll come down to the priorities, right? Nisqy and blue looks kind of even, but Fnatic have the bot push. They're crashing wave onto the tower, and the crab spawning in 15 seconds. So by the time they push out this wave, it should be easy for Selfmade to pick up this crab. And TynX might either have to back off, or already, as you can see, he notices he doesn't have bot prow. He might already path up towards the top side. Or maybe he could sneak up and chunk out Selfmade. Selfmade is low HP, but Nisqy would not expect this gank.
Oh, this would be a little bit of a false sense of security here for Nisqy moving forward. Smoke screen blocking the vision, the immediate healing coming through. Gold card locked in, but it does mean that TynX is going to give up the bottom side. Crab has to walk right back up to top side as Selfmade wanders in to give his mid laner a little bit of support, but Selfmade's not interested in giving away that crab for free, just walking straight up into that top side river as Bwipo's already walking down, and TynX might be in trouble here. The double dash through, it is going to be the empowered stun. Fury now coming up, TynX going to be in trouble. The flash over the wall, Bwipo will not opt to follow.
So much side lane power coming out of Fnatic. Bwipo just charging onto TynX, forcing his flash because Blue's on the tower, Jenax on the tower, Treatz and Jezu are on the tower as well, so essentially 3 lanes of priority for Selfmade. Nets him a double crab. Now you have to argue, maybe TynX could have identified that earlier. He could have realized he has no bot power. He could have realized that trading for top crab must have been better, but he does end up losing his flash. Will clear out his golems and should go for his raptor respawn, but yeah, net advantage for Fnatic. No flash on the main jungle, and they get double crab for Selfmade, who can base soon, get back on the map, have his boots, and start to impact these lanes, which have so much push.
And it costs Bwipo so little. He's coming back with a Cole. He's chilling in the Sion matchup. And yes, as things move forward, he might not have quite as much kill pressure until he gets a few more items under his belt. But right now, he's still feeling very confident in this 1v1. Massive healing coming in from that Renekton Q. And this is why you pick this champion. He's just so oppressive.
Yeah, Bwipo's fast pushing this lane. They might be looking for something. They could cancel Jenax's recall and look for some kind of dive. Selfmade's going to do it anyway. I think Jenax has to back off to his tier 2 and just respect the amount of CC and setup they have on this dive, because Jenax, there's no real counterplay. Once you get hit by that stun, you're going to hit by the combo and you're going to die. So, smart decision by Jenax to base. Bwipo will be able to push out. Maybe he can push out the next wave and just proxy it, because Jenax can't really win this lane phase, and they know that TynX is pathing bot side, so Bwipo can play really aggressive here. And I think by doing this, he can clear out the wave faster, which means he can base faster and could save a lot of time on the map. So,
and Caedrel.
He can also disappear into mid here and maybe look for a gank.
I think this is, if you're TynX right now, this is such a miserable game to play, because you're trying to make some work happen, you're moving in to take Raptors camps, but you can't go topside. You have no vision there, you have no camps there. Meanwhile, bot lane, bit of a fight. Hold that thought as the pun back now comes in. Hylissang could be in trouble, but the stun going out. The exhaust now coming down too. Hylissang, though, gets a little bit of a heal coming in from the Q. He's ticking, he's burning from the ignite with the flash. Hylissang wants more, but a flawless input buffer. It's clean timing. TynX walking in, though. Definitely in no man's land. Selfmade there in time to back them up.
Nisqy's level 6 has a big wave stacked up here. SK have to respect, they have to give it up. They're going to lose so many creeps, and they're going to lose some platings. The whole map's falling apart from SK. You can see they're already down 1,000 gold from the lanes itself. Bwipo's just proxying on the top wave. Fnatic zoning them off the bot tower. They might try to defend here. Blue is around the bot side with the ultimate, and Bwipo's moving down. Flash in from Treatz.
Treatz trying to get things started. Alistar moving in. Ryze on the way in as well. Hylissang trying to find the disengage. First blood already coming out, though. The unraveled earth. They didn't want to walk through it, but they were forced to. Hylissang still living. A ticking time bomb coming in to Tristana. Not enough with the explosive charge.
Hylissang gets out. That's huge for Fnatic. They forced the Ryze ult. Bwipo ran down from top to push in mid wave, so Blue's losing waves. They're losing bot waves. They're getting plates. First blood to Fnatic. And now normally when you get a kill like this, you don't actually lose too much in the early game. But in this case, Fnatic are going to base on all their carries and their jungle. They're going to get plates, and Bwipo catches top and mid wave, so Fnatic have actually lost nothing on the map.
Caedrel, this is massive. We are 6 minutes and 30 seconds into the game. We already have more than a 1.5k gold lead for Fnatic with a single kill. This is pressure, this is plates, this is adding up so quickly. Bwipo's already like 35 into his Cole. it's going to go from bad to worse very fast when first items start to come through.
Yeah, and what did we say before the start of the game? Fnatic's bot lane is so aggressive. They've been aggressive a whole split long, going for 2v2 kills non-stop. So I wasn't surprised to see Fnatic draft 2 global mid jungles and path towards bot and help them out as much as they can, because Upset and Hylissang have been doing so well in the LEC Spring 2021 season. And Selfmade looking for a ganky mid. Blue, no flash, no cleanse.
Knocked back instantly. The Ignite now ticking. Unraveled Earth connecting, and Nisqy going to grab the kill. It's a clean setup from Fnatic.
Yeah, Fnatic, really good setup. They identified the blue, had no cleanse up, so Fnatic can just flash with their mid jungle and get that kill. And that kill will mean that Selfmade will get the bot grab as well. So Fnatic have a huge lead. Selfmade has the ult here. He could try to zone away SK's bot lane. SK don't have the ults or the TPs to respond.
Oh, they might be locked in here. Jezu can jump over. Now he's not going to connect. Selfmade's going to be in trouble. The jump, the reset. So Jezu trying to fish for it. He's going to get out. The gold card manages to connect though. Do they try to continue the play? Flash out from Jezu. He will manage to survive. Well played by the SK bot lane.
Yeah, TynX is around, but I don't think there's much he can do here. But that's just a free kill for SK. I think Selfmade bit off a little bit more than he could chew there. I think he thought Nisqy was closer, but Hylissang might be looking to deny the Gromp. He does end up getting it, but I think the key thing to note here is Jezu's not getting bot waves. Although Jezu got a kill, look at how much CS he's down. He didn't get any of the bot waves. He's going to pick up the scraps. But Fnatic sitting on such a big gold lead, and this is how the game works. When you have priority lanes like this, you can just force as much as you want, and you can see play into mid, Selfmade gets the kill, levels up, ults towards bot side, and Fnatic, they're not taking their foot off the gas.
And again, what we talked about, Fnatic needing to find that commanding early game, and here it is. Now, this is a fumble from Selfmade, don't get me wrong. The pressure from bot lane is going to cost Jezu, but the good news, if you're an SK fan, is that's a lot of money into the pocket of an otherwise suffering Tristana, who does in the end manage to make it out.
Yeah, obviously a mistake from Selfmade there, going way too deep. Jezu picks up the kill, and the Alistar Tristana has so much damage. Aww.
I don't know why we highlighted that, but that was very cute. Thank you, observers.
Very cute, yeah. No, but like I was saying, so much damage coming out.
It's Treatz. It's always, no matter what happens, Treatz is doing something good. He's either making a play or he's feeding the cats. Like, what can't this man do?
What can't this man do? Yeah, on the Alistar, does end up picking a kill on the Selfmade, and look what SK have done. They got a kill. They got lots of vision on the bot side of the map, so maybe they found some sort of window for them to get back in the game. Drake is up. Looks like they're going to start it up, but Nisqy has the ult. Upset has the ult as well to join the fight. Hylissang's around, and I don't think Hylissang's going to give this one up for them.
This is very bold from Hylissang. I think he's bit off a little bit more than he could chew, but he does have to crash down to make it out to safety. As Selfmade takes the red, it is getting lower and lower. SK going to be happy to grab this one. Not quite uncontested, but might as well be.
Yeah, and back to my point about the game itself, Bwipo still proxying top waves here. When you have this much priority in lanes, your lanes can always collapse first on plays. And when you get plays off and you actually kill the enemy team or push them back to base, you can already start pushing waves and getting kills, getting tower plates.
Comes the Twisted Fate.
Flashes away from the TF ult.
Smokescreen, a very good ability, it turns out.
Yeah. Nocturne ulti and an AoE 10-second cooldown. Hylissang jumping out of range of Treatz' combo there. But look at Bwipo in his top side. 20 CS lead, farming enemy Krugs, proxying top waves. Jenax must hate his life.
He has to, and we have to remember what happened last time. Last time he was playing Vladimir, getting solo killed in lane. He watched his entire team get killed over and over again by Bwipo. And yes, this performance isn't as flashy because no one is dying, but it is still so very dominant from Bwipo. Massive CS lead, massive pressure advantage. Jenax has gotten nothing done, but Bwipo has done so much for his team by just constantly pressuring topside.
Yeah, definitely. And you might ask yourself, why doesn't SK collapse if you're an SK fan? Why don't we just kill Bwipo? Well, he's just proxying top waves in tier 2 as well. The key thing is, if they go for Bwipo, Bwipo will buy enough time to make it so Fnatic can make a cross-map play on bot, and SK's bot lane will be out of the game when there's a 4-man bot side, and TynX shows top in a 3v2, in a 3v4, sorry, and then they're going to lose this bot tower. So they can't actually go for a play onto Bwipo because they'll end up losing too much on the other side of the map. That's why Bwipo is actually able to do this, and Jenax can't really trade aggressively onto him because he loses 1v1, so just has to watch him proxy waves, and because of that top lane priority, and because Nisqy is able to roam around the map on this TF, looks like they're going to be able to pick themselves up a Herald.
We're backing off for now, and as you said, early Herald always going to be important. As long as you use it before the plates drop, it's always going to feel like an objective that is worth your time. But Hylissang and Nisqy ready to roam into the mid lane as necessary. Hylissang not even level 6 yet. Not really grabbing a whole lot of experience there, instead just continuing to roam. And I mean, the thing about both Taliah and Renekton being so strong at this point in the game is you take Herald so fast.
Yeah. I'm expecting that Herald to go towards the bot side of the map because they want to unlock this Kai'Sa and this Rell to get them onto top side into mid and start making plays around the map. If they're stuck in their bot lane, it's really hard to be impactful. So Selfmade pathing down here. The TF ult will be up soon. Bwipo has TP. Fnatic have all the tools they need to crack this game open.
Hylissang just constantly threatening engages. And you can see Blue very comfortable in the individual 1v1 trades, but it's the roam threat from the rest of Fnatic that's really stopping him from getting too aggressive. As Treatz is going to be in trouble. Magnet Storm procced a little bit earlier. Aftershock going, so Hylissang is all things considered quite tanky, but the knockback maybe not what SK wanted. The flash in, Hylissang wants to keep the fight going, but he may have sentenced his team to death. That's a reset on the rocket jump if Jezu wants it. He leaps in, he's going to grab one onto Nisqy. He can keep fishing because now Upset's been caught out. The ult out to safety. The auto attack, not quite empowered. It's just slightly delayed. It's just slightly off. He cannot get it, but it's Treatz over the wall, making it out to safety. And Upset getting taken down as Jezu grabs another one.
Treatz finds the engage again for SK. They're in a losing game state, but Treatz finds the engage. They pick up 3 kills. SK are back in this game, and such big credit to Blue as well with that Ryze ultimate. Got TynX behind. Upset couldn't find an escape route. And Treatz flashed forward with the last stun. He didn't actually get it, but then he made Upset go for the kill. Look at Treatz. Knocks Hylissang into his team, and he knew he had a number advantage here because Jezu is not catching bot wave. Upset was. So Jezu's first. Hylissang, bit confusing play here. He could flash away and they could just leave the fight in the 3v4, but he flashed in, doesn't get the stun. And then SK from there with a number advantage can chase him down.
Oh, and you can see here the resets for the jumps coming in. And this is the moment where it looks a little bit bad for Treatz initially, but Upset baited to turn back to try to finish the kill, has no vision in the brush. And right then, Blue ferries his support out to safety.
Yeah, Treatz flashed in thinking he had his E up to get the auto attack to stun Upset. And because he didn't, Upset thought he could kill Treatz before he got knocked over the wall. So it was like a bad play turning to a worse play. And then Upset ends up dying, losing his life. 3 kills to SK. They are still down almost 1,500 gold. And Fnatic do still have this Herald for bot tower, which they'll probably use in the next 30 seconds because plates are falling off in a minute, but SK have found some kind of way back into the game.
And while we've seen great moments from SK, we have seen so many games over the course of the season where they have fallen behind, and it has required miracle engages, it has required clutch moments from members of the team, whether it's been Jenax coming in on a Gnar, whether it's been Treatz on a Rell or an Alistar, and they're going to need to dig deep and find more of those moments because Fnatic
Drakos
are still ahead. They've broken bot lane tower, their gold lead's continuing to grow, but until they spend that money, there might be a chance here for SK. Unstoppable Sion, going to get body blocked here, but Bwipo into the backside. That's one strong Crocodile, but they're knocking him back. They're keeping him away, but Bwipo, the healing is massive. It might not matter in the end. Nisqy stepping off to the side. The gold card coming in. Jenax going down. Zombie Sion coming up. Upset now with the shutdown. Coming through. Ryze grabbing one in the meantime. Upset going to grab another kill. Moving in. Now, meanwhile on the side, though, Selfmade is so incredibly squishy, and Blue is out for blood. Flash forward. Confirms the kill. The gold card now coming in, and Blue is in no man's land. Fnatic have taken the fight. Maybe Blue can outplay. The cleanse. The sidestep, but it's not enough. He walks back into tower range. There's too much CC, and he drops in the end. Double for Upset. Fnatic take the fight.
Fnatic find the fight. SK were the ones who started that engage because the Herald on bot tower and Drake spawning soon. SK thought that they could pull the trigger, but Fnatic reacted so quickly. And although that wasn't a straight up 5v5, it was quite messy. Lots of fight across the board, and then this TP behind, I think Fnatic must have spotted it almost instantly. I mean, it is on a ward, and if they did have their camera on it, they would spot it. But look at how quick they react. Bwipo TPs instantly, the TF ult comes in, 4 or 5 players collapse onto Jenax, and from there the fight gets so messy because Selfmade split off, Nisqy splits off towards the top side, and TynX actually has to use his ultimate back over the wall to join your fight. Look at TynX, ults backwards just to get back in the fight, and the Sion zombie buys so much time, but Nisqy and Selfmade on the side stopped it from SK from being able to join the fight from the backside. Blue was kind of zoned out.
He was. He does grab a shutdown in that fight. Excuse me, I said it was Upset at the time, but he's the one who grabs it, even if with Upset grabbing the double kill. That said, works out pretty well for SK. The Ryze, even though he does go down here at the end of the fight, I think Blue is a guy that we have to keep our eyes on because he is getting stronger. Moving closer and closer, but now Hylissang fishing for the engage. It's TynX who's been caught out. The follow-up there from Upset, and the point and click CC coming through clutch. Seismic shove from Selfmade, just guaranteeing the kill there.
Treatz finds clutch engages, but Hylissang never fails to deliver with his too. I mean, the bot side fight, he cancelled Jezu's jump with his flash passive, and now he finds the engage onto TynX. No, he does have the flash, but Hylissang catches him off guard, and now 4,000 gold lead for Fnatic. They pick up the Dragon to stop SK from being able to get the Soul. Yes, the Soul is going to be Cloud Soul, so not the best for SK, so SK need to find some other way to get themselves back into this game because, they do outscale with the Tristana and Ryze. But if TF and Taliah are ahead with a Renekton, they can force plays whenever they want, and you just saw it right there.
Exactly, and regardless, you can have 4 items on Ryze, but if you get hard CC'd like that instantly into the Unraveled Earth, you're going to get one shot anyway. And it's important to remember in a game that has been this tense, even with Fnatic having a 5k gold lead, remember how much is on the line here. Both these teams only 1 win behind the Mad Lions, and fighting right now for sole possession of 4th place. Again, 5th, 6th, you're going to play 1 best of 5, you lose, you go home. If you're in 4th and above, you're going to get another shot, you're going to get another chance for redemption. So crucial for these teams to find that all-important 4th seed or even 3rd if Mad Lions fall later today.
Yeah, that would be so big for SK, especially if they were able to win this game and get ahead of Fnatic in the standings and finish around the 4th position in their first LEC Spring season. With only Jenax remaining on the roster, that would be huge with all these new blood, new talents coming in, showing up and making themselves top 4. Europe would never fail to deliver on the rookie teams, right?
It's insane.
Rogue, Mad Lions, now if SK could pull it off as well, that would be incredible.
I never 100% believe it's going to happen, and then it always does. It always finds a way. That said, this one might be a little bit easier to predict. Unstoppable coming through, though. Jenax just forced to use the ultimate there. A good call overall. He was most certainly dead if this TC combo managed to land. But Upset can now leap in if the W connects. Luckily for Jenax, it won't. The creep wave there to block it. So Fnatic just going to have to settle for that top lane tier 1.
Yeah, they had a top wave and they used Selfmade roaming up in this 1-3-1 to make sure the bot lane from Fnatic can move as well up to the top side. They secure top tower. What can SK get from this? Looks like they're going to push in bot and try to do a similar play to what Fnatic just did, but they're a little bit slower. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Fnatic react in time because Ryze taking side lane towers is very slow. You can see Upsets moving out on the bot side of the map. Fnatic dropped all top side because the wave was pushed into tier 2. And now they want to contest the bot side and crack open this tier 1 mid.
And I think it's important for us to remember, Caedrel, that at the start of this game, we talked about Fnatic's early game. And Fnatic's early game was solid, and even though they gave up a few kills here and there, they're still very much in the lead. That said, we're in the classic scenario when you start falling behind against a team like Fnatic, which is just hold on. Just don't die.
Yep.
Just find trades where you can. Pray that when Hylissang wants to flip that coin or go for that engage, that maybe this time he's a little bit too aggressive. But I feel like for SK that when they wanted to hold on in the early game, they were hoping to hold on with maybe a 1K deficit, maybe a 2K deficit. But a 5K deficit, it's not quite insurmountable, but it feels damn close.
Yeah, it's going to be really tough to overcome, especially against a team like Fnatic. Look at their map movements. They've sent Upset to bot to push it out, Bwipo to top to push it out, Collapse mid, take mid tier 1. SK need to be very creative on how they find their leads and how they find their picks. You can see 3 members up towards the top side. They have the Ryze ult to catch someone out, but Fnatic can be able to take bot tier 2 here. They spot them out on top side. Bwipo playing super safe. 4 members of SK on the top side of the map getting nothing, while Fnatic getting bot tier 2, and you can see how difficult it is to find these picks against such a good team like Fnatic.
And even Blue, looking like one of the stronger members on the team right now, he still needs a babysitter to exist topside against Bwipo. Bwipo level 13 right now, to the level 12 of Blue, to level 12 Jenax. Bwipo getting closer and closer to 14 as well. Almost a 2-level advantage over the enemy team's respective solo lanes is massive.
Yeah, and I think the key thing for this game is Fnatic, they've had control since the start of the game. They've had 3 pushing lanes, double crab. They're getting the early heralds, they're winning the early fights, they're always there first. Yes, Selfmade made a mistake by going too deep and giving SK a kill, and yes, Fnatic did get caught out in bot side river, but no matter what actually happened, Fnatic have had full control of the game, full control of the river, and their movements around the map have been so efficient at keeping SK at their tier 2s.
So now we keep our eyes on the people who can make plays for the side of SK. Jenax, Sion sadly is just forced to keep catching these waves. His ultimate hasn't really been able to be used for playmaking whatsoever outside of the bot lane play. Blue in a similar situation. So instead, feels like as always, we set our sights on Treatz. That said, engaging from Fog of War with a Hex Flash, I feel like the man who invented that is in the game right now. So that feels like a bit of a stretch to hold out for if you're an SK fan.
But he needs to flash first so he can get the Hex Flash to actually find that play. But you're definitely right, Treatz is going to have to find some engage.
That's support 101. Just blow your flash on something meaningless so you can Hex Flash. Exactly. So you feel like you got value out of the rune.
Exactly, but look at Fnatic. They took top, they took the Herald before it despawned. Dragon in 30 seconds moving towards the bot side. And my eyes this game are on Upset. Look how strong he is. He's been so strong for Fnatic. Almost every weekend, either it's popping off in the 2v2s or he's really, really strong in general. And Upset has been a great addition so far, and it's been such a pleasure to watch Upset be so strong in all these games that Fnatic have played and have such high impact for the team.
And at the start of the season, of course, you could assume that maybe a lot of this was just Hylissang as a laner, but you're also seeing Upset come into his own as a player. He's been so very dominant, so impactful for the team. Yes, the laning phase has been good, but he hasn't lost the same skills that made him so important for a team like Origin, where he is this powerhouse late game carry as well.
Yeah, and there's lots of questions around Upset. Will he perform? I mean, it's almost like he was destined to win a title on Schalke. He never won it. Origin was going to be a super team. They flopped, but there's lots of questions around Upset. Is he as good as people say he is? But he's definitely shown up and proven all the people that maybe question his abilities that he is a top 3 AD carry in Europe, and he's been performing so well. As Bwipo is getting caught out. 4 members of SK.
A lot of damage to TP now coming in. The double dash out to safety. Bwipo trying to make it out. Gale Force in. Hylissang going to be first on the list, but there's so much CC. Maybe he buys just enough time for someone else to get there. It's not going to happen. Now, SK burns so much just for a single kill onto Hylissang.
Yeah, definitely, but Fnatic have dropped the ball, right? They got got a kill. Hylissang did fall. Bwipo forced to flash away as well. SK have regained some control on this map, but look at bot wave. Bot wave's going to crash in there. Tier 3, they're going to lose farm. Upset's already pushed mid. Herald, let's all go mid. They're going to have to contest this Nashor though. 4v5. What ultimates do they have? They're going to have the Kai'Sa ultimate, but they've also got 2 globals, so not much to work with. Treatz flashed in.
Treatz wants to get it done. The chain CC does not land. Jenax not in a position to follow up. Treatz going to be in trouble. They're going to be forced to back away. Fnatic walking away victorious. That's the gold card connecting. Cleanse already burned, but it's Bwipo on the backside. The wall has split SK. Blue is in trouble. The gold card connects and denies him. The ultimate canceled, and now he goes down. Fnatic, priority access to the Baron or to the rest of SK. It's their choice.
Yeah, Fnatic can turn towards the Baron here. 3 members of SK alive. Won't be in time to contest it. They don't have enough to start the fight. They might look for some kind of steal, but TynX's smite is on cooldown. And I think there was a lot of miscommunication coming out from SK on that engage. Treatz flashing in, no one following up. Blue could have used the ult to chase down. How can they stop this Baron? TynX
has flash. 2K, it's
no
getting
smite
lower.
though.
The vision, it's not there for them. Hylissang trying to body block, and it is going to get dropped in the end. Jenax now has to run for the hills. Fnatic should be happy with that one, but they might want a little bit more blood. Instead, they're going to back away, but that is 5 members strong from the side of Fnatic with Baron up and available. Yeah,
2-for-1 trade for Fnatic. They get the Baron. Now Fnatic with this 1-4 com, with the globals that they have, they should be able to start cracking open the tier 2 mid, the tier 2 top, and perhaps even the inhibitors. But Fnatic looking so strong in this game. 9,000 gold lead, almost 10. And they're sitting pretty. Look at upset again. 5-1-2 on this Kai'Sa. 450 gold shutdown, almost sitting at 3 items at 22 minutes into the game.
I mean, this is... Everyone is going to look back at this game and Fnatic and be happy. Even Hylissang, who's overstepped once or twice, Selfmade in a similar situation. But overall, this is absolute dominance, Caedrel. And for SK, they have to be hitting themselves for how poorly this early game went for them. But for Fnatic, it's been played so cleanly. And for SK, I just feel bad watching that last play. You think, hey, you've got a 5v4 at Baron Pit. Maybe you can turn, maybe you can get something done. Again, it starts so promisingly with Treatz coming over the wall, but nope, Fnatic just one-shot the Alistar and bully SK out of the pit.
Jeff ult coming out. Blue doesn't have the ult to respond. He has flash, no cleanse though. If he gets stunned up, I think Upset can fly in with the ult.
Step forward, Upset now moving in. That's going to be 1 dead Ryze. Nisqy able to make it out alive as well.
Yeah, good pick from Fnatic there, just punishing Blue from pushing out the side lane. And I feel like they could have won that 4v5, you know. Fnatic are running double global on the Taliah and TF. The only real teamfight ability they have was the Kai'Sa. Jenax might be getting caught, but he is a tanky Sion. Looks like they don't have the damage to take him down or force him out.
And the good news is, for now, as long as they don't send more members, he can still comfortably approach the wave and use that decimating smash to clear. Yeah,
looks like they're going almost like a 1-1-3 here from the side of Fnatic. You can see Selfmade moving his way down towards the mid-bot side of the map so they can start hitting this bot tower as Bwipo will... The objective here in the 1-1-3 is top tier 2, right? Fnatic are just pushing into these waves to make people respond, but the actual pressure point is Bwipo on this top side who will start hitting the top tier 2. SK will be forced to give it up just because of the amount of pressure Fnatic have in the bot and the mid.
And you can see Fnatic placing the ward over the wall into the base of SK, making sure that no Hex Flash shenanigans would come through from Treatz. A control ward clears that out, so there is a little bit more option for them to pressure forward, and it does mean that Fnatic will back off. That said, mission accomplished, Caedrel. You said this was to take the top lane tier 2. Fnatic have taken the top lane tier 2.
Yeah, their objective was the top tier 2 all along. Maybe they can look for more. It's a bit difficult though when you only have one pushing lane, which is mid. Bwipo and Nisqy poised looking for engage. Treatz doesn't have the flash, but the ult's coming out.
Sion is going to back off though, canceling the ultimate. Knew that he'd get body blocked by Hylissang.
Yeah, and Fnatic trying to punish SK maybe there. If SK disrespected or base, maybe they could find the mid tier 3. But in general, cracking open tier 3s with the first Baron is so difficult. 23, 24-minute Baron is really hard to crack open tier 3s because there's enough wave clear and enough... You're not tanky enough to dive them, right? So there's not enough you can punish them with. Yes, they did get a pick on Blue. They did end up getting mid and top tier 2, but that's about it. I think that's all Fnatic's going to get with this Baron. So SK have time to hold on, but they're already down almost 11,000 gold.
And of course, the biggest issue for SK now is that they're going to be caged to their base. The globals of Fnatic, it's harder to find value when all of SK is sitting in their base and farming, but if Jenax overextends here, if Blue overextends on the side lane, there will be a Taliah and a Twisted Fate in his face instantaneously.
I think the most important thing you have to realize here is SK haven't gotten a single tower. Fnatic have not lost a single tier 1 in the whole game, so it's so hard for SK to push out waves. If they're trying to siege with Baron and push out top, it's not going to go far. It's going to bounce on the top tier 1 regardless. So it's so hard for SK to find some kind of control of the map because Fnatic haven't lost a tower yet, Drakos.
Selfmade stealing a cannon and spamming emotes as well. I mean, it's a good game for Fnatic, right? I think there's nothing around it. It's a 10k gold lead at 25 minutes. Now, there's always the miracle when you've got champions like Graves, Ryze, Tristana. All it takes is one team fight where you go untouched to potentially turn a game. But again, that feels more like a miracle than it does a viable strategy option at this point of the game, especially with Soul Point on the board for Fnatic with the next Drake.
Yeah, they're going to need a miracle. I mean, Jezu just finished his second item while Upset's working towards his fourth. So, I mean, this is the battle for fourth right now, almost stirred with Mad Lions in the running. And look at the amount of dominance coming out of Fnatic in this best of 1.
Definitely not messing around. And you saw Some inconsistent performances from Fnatic, some question marks, some bad games coming in from Bwipo. Last week it was the shift back to the full AP Gragas, and since then it feels like Fnatic have been somewhat unleashed, playing incredibly dominantly. That said, Treatz going to be the catch out. Big damage coming in from Bwipo, though. He's just going to one-shot TynX. That is some Renekton damage. Hylissang coming in with the follow-up CC. Treatz is getting absolutely nothing done. It's Nisqy off to the side, and it is the meat grinder of Fnatic. There is no room to move. There is no room to maneuver. There is no room for SK on this rift. That is the Quadra for Upset, and that is a clean fight for Fnatic.
Yeah, Quadra kill for Upset. Almost legendary 700 gold shutdown, 10 kills out of the 16 that Fnatic has. People questioned Upset coming into Fnatic. Is he going to be able to fill the shoes of Reckless? But by God, this was a good performance.
He's definitely not Reckless, but he definitely is Upset. This man is playing out of his mind. 27 minutes into the game, a 14K gold lead, rounded up to 15 as we get ready to close it out. Fnatic take the win and take sole control of fourth.
Yeah, SK could never really find their way into this game. They got one good bot play in the river where they managed to pick up 3 kills where Fnatic kind of disrespected them, Hylissang flashing in, but they didn't pick up a single tower. They couldn't crack open Fnatic, and Fnatic just slowly accrued their lead, and it just exponentially grew to the point where Upset Quadra kills you in the late game teamfight. 11,000 gold lead. Yeah, really good performance from Fnatic. It's a statement.
Yeah, and tied in win score now with Mad Lions until Mad gets to play later in the day versus Rogue. A little bit of a fall down here for SK, and SK aren't out of it yet. But for Fnatic, this is a crucial win because first and second feel all but locked, right? They've got enough of a game lead for Rogue and G2, but third and fourth is hotly contested. And the seeding there, while it doesn't matter too much between the two, you need one of those places.
Yeah, definitely. And Fnatic taking that win. If Mad Lions lose today against Rogue, then they will be tied with Mad Lions for that 3rd place spot. SK, they're still in 4th place. They are still 4th, 5th place, so they should be fine when it comes to the playoffs race.
Yeah, it's weird until we finish the games for the day, to be honest.
I think SK are still sitting pretty. That was a bit of a stomp by Fnatic, I must say. But they should be okay.
It was an absolute blast, folks. Kia player of the game at LEC on Twitter. Who do you think facilitated said blasting? Was it Selfmade, Upset, or Hylissang? It's really your choice. I think it was an all-star performance from all 3. Hylissang maybe had a few more deaths than some people would like, but I think his engages were so clutch.
Do you know what we call that?
What?
Tactical int.
Good
Don't
job.
forget that.
Keep it fresh. But Upset had a fat scoreline and is an 80 carry, so as the rules dictate, you have to vote for him. That's just how it works. We're going to take an in-depth look at Fnatic's win in a few minutes, though, as they take a huge step towards the top 4 finish.
Lovely.
Welcome back to the LEC, and Fnatic takes a decisive victory in this battle for 4th place in the standings upset. There was a very, very convincing performance from you and also Fnatic, because you ended the game in a quadra kill. You had a huge grin on your face and a handshake with Hylissang right after the game, and you even won the player of the game. How are you feeling about your overall performance on Kai'Sa today?
I thought I played pretty good, but my team made it really easy for me. I think the draft we had was like a dream for Kai'Sa. Everyone had CC and setup, and after laning phase, we got so far ahead already in lane because they were running to the tower level 1, and then I was so fed from the fights that my team gave me. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with my performance, and overall, pretty happy with the game and my Kai'Sa.
Yeah, I agree. And my next question was actually going to be about drafts, because throughout this game, Fnatic was so relentless, like pushing lanes from all direction, and they never let go of this lead. So in your opinion, how much of this victory was through draft and getting lane priorities, and how much was it through like sheer execution, Fnatic players just playing damn well?
I would say the draft made it easy. I was kind of surprised we managed to get Kai'Sa, Rell on 2-3, because these are usually champs that are very high prio and often even banned. But we managed to get them 2-3 after we already chose our first pick, TF. So draft made it a little bit easier, but overall I think we just played really well. I think we, from laning phase to finish, maybe we had 1 or 2 little mistakes, some bad fights we took, but that's just part of it. You can't know if a fight is bad if you don't try. So sometimes it will happen, but overall I think we pressured the map really well this game, not too much fighting, and yeah, overall pretty good how we played our draft.
Okay, super weak teams, take note. Please ban upsets Kai'Sa and please ban Hylissang Rell. Okay, maybe I wasn't supposed to say that, but I'd love to talk to you about synergy with Hylissang, right? Because it looks like you pairing up with Hylissang here at Fnatic has unlocked upset version 2 almost, because we always knew about that new upset as their stable AD carry when it came to team fights, but you had become more aggressive, more punishing in the lane phase. So can you tell me more about the development of you as a player in pairing with Hylissang throughout this season?
It definitely brings me back a little bit playing with Igna, because I also felt we had something similar going. But right now with Hylissang, I think it has reached a new level. He's always pushing me to play more aggressive and to take the fights if we think we cannot play them. And overall, we just play duo the whole day and review every game we play, and he just helps me a lot. And the more we play, I feel like the stronger we get, and our brains are slowly merging, and we don't even need to talk much anymore, because I actually know what he wants to do. And when he wants to go in, we see the same openings. So it has been a blessing getting to play with Hylissang, and I'm just super happy how much we're improving, and I don't think it will stop anytime soon.
At today's Ready Check at that orders, a majority of LEC fans actually voted that we are more likely to see Rogue in the finals compared to Fnatic. But this is one thing to note about Fnatic, that they have an insane X Factor, a crazy ceiling for all the individuals in the players. So now that you have beaten SK, and even though the playoff spots aren't confirmed just yet, what's your confidence level going into the playoffs and the best of 5 scenarios, and what do you think will become the deciding factor when it comes to the playoffs?
I feel pretty confident about playoffs, even though I am not even sure if we're qualified yet. I definitely do think Rogue is a good team, and I respect them, but when I think of players like Hylissang and even Bwipo, they have this X factor that in a best of 5, when it really matters, I think will make a huge difference. So I have a lot of trust in my team to get us over the line if we need it. And also, I think we have been trying some things and looking to find more our identity, even though one part of our identity is to always fight, and we like that, but maybe a little bit more defined play style or what we like to do more. And I think we're actually on an upwards trajectory, and this week's games kind of proved that the things we did last week were good. So I'm feeling actually very confident, and there's one more week. I think we even play versus Rogue, but yeah, best of 1s are always very different than a best of 5. So I think I feel very good about it.
Okay, I'm so glad to hear about your upward trajectory. So best of luck for the playoffs, the possible run towards the players, as well as the upcoming Super Week next week. Thank you so much for this interview, Upset.
Yeah, thank you as well.
Thank you, and I'll throw you over to Ender for a closer look at the early game of Fnatic versus SK.
Thanks, Ashley. After that dominating win for Fnatic, they now own the head-to-head versus SK Gaming. And I want to do a full breakdown of this super impressive early game from both the micro and macro decision-making of Fnatic. They were able to systematically take apart SK, and a specific focus on this bottom lane for Fnatic, who we know are super aggressive inside the laning phase, 11 2v2 kills before this game. And you'll notice right off the bat, you know, with both junglers passing down towards the bot side, it gives us the idea that there's going to be a scrap over the Scuttle Crab. And you see how much respect Jezu and Treatz are giving over to this pairing of Upset and Hylissang. They get level 2 first, and what this, of course, is going to mean that when that scrap comes for the Crab, well, Graves can't really do anything. TynX can't realistically get involved, even a low HP Selfmade here, because the rotations can come out. So TynX decides instead, well, let's try and see if we can go for this mid lane gank, but this is where things start to fall apart from SK, because you'll notice that on the minimap here, you've got 3 priority lanes for Fnatic now. You've got Bwipo pushing topside, mid lane's looking good, bot lane's looking good here. So fighting for this top Crab isn't necessarily going to go well for TynX, because Bwipo can easily rotate on down here, and you're going to see exactly just that. Selfmade had already finished the Crab, so he moves up towards the topside jungle. Bwipo runs in here, he's going to chunk out TynX, force his flash out of the play as well, which shuts down a lot of what Graves can do inside the early game. And if again, you draw your attention towards the minimap, just look at where these players from Fnatic are. Hylissang had started roaming up towards mid. The jungle pairing with the top laner have now invaded the jungle to see what they can get done. And on the bottom side of the map, you'll notice Upset has taken a reset for himself as well. So it's just a really good map movement here, using that priority in the bot lane to get a free reset and then make some plays around the map. You'll then notice Hylissang hops back over the wall. He's going to get back into the bottom lane in classic Hylissang fashion. He sets up this freeze on the minion wave for his AD carry. And you'll notice the AD carry Tristana can't really stick around and break this freeze. Otherwise, on the opposite end of this, you end up losing more minions, because Upset's going to be back to lane very, very shortly. Treatz also can't do much here with how Hylissang actually pulled that wave up into the little choke point there. So this wave gets into a very nice position for Upset. It will start naturally pushing back towards the SK side, but Upset here is up 2 CS. And as you build this giant wave, what are Fnatic thinking of? Well, I can promise you, Hylissang is thinking, I need to make this lane volatile, because if I can get Jezu low, if I can get Treatz low, that opens up opportunities for a dive, which could in fact deny a huge amount of minions to the enemy ADC. And that's exactly what he does. Level 3, level 4, this is when he likes to go in. Hylissang gets wild with it. This one looks close, you know, it could go either way, but the heal is held onto by Upset, so Hylissang decides he's going to jump back around and make a little play for himself. Even with the enemy jungler here, the minion wave is too large, the damage has been done. And here, if we pause for just a moment one more time, you'll see that Fnatic have full map domination. Up in the top side of the map, Bwipo has actually started proxying between the minion waves, between the turrets, because he knows TynX is on the bottom side. And you also have Nisqy thinking about a rotation towards bot lane as well. Now, there is the Ryze ultimate to try and respond with the TP here, and you're going to see SK try to go for some sort of a fight, because they're losing so many minions. Jezu's like, please guys, I need help. I cannot lose this cannon wave. But it does not matter, because Jezu and TynX can't actually follow up off of the engage of the Alistar. Treatz gets instantly deleted. Blue here very low on mana as well, and again, Jezu is taken too low. So the volatility that Hylissang and Upset were able to create ends up shutting down any real chance for SK to make a play. And you have to appreciate just how much Fnatic got off the map. Because of the proxy from Bwipo, he was able to rotate all the way down towards this middle lane and pick up that whole wave. The bot lane also denies a big wave there, and Bwipo's going to be able to get back to top lane before the minions crash into the turret. So this means that not only was all the bot lane minions lost from SK, but also the mid minions are all going to be lost there as well. It's just a complete disaster, and at the end of this clip, Upset went from 2 minions ahead to 20 minions ahead, and well, if that doesn't spell doom for SK, I don't know what does. Now, after the break, we'll see if Misfits can keep their winning streak going as they take on G2 Esports.